Hello there and welcome to another episode of The Money, the show that focuses on micro, small and medium enterprises. Now today we are going to showcase a business that has no office. We'll be talking to Juan Collins, who runs an interior design, to just show us what exactly he deals with. My name is Nina Shavan. Let's go and meet Collins. All right, hello. Hi, Collins. How are you?
I'm fine.
Hello, ladies. How are you? Thank you so much for having us. Now, to just make it clear, once again, we are at a nice home and we are in a village market. Collins is our focus on the money today. And Collins runs an interior design company. So we'll start off by maybe you introducing yourself. I think you'll do a better job in introducing yourself than what I'll do.
Okay.
Yes.
My name is Collins Luvai. I'm an interior architect. I do design for commercial spaces and retail shops. And most of the shops I've done are here at Village Market.
All right.
Yeah.
So why did we choose Nice Home to be our... Personally, I like the way it looks. But you can tell us, why is this our first exhibit?
It's our first exhibit because to me it's the best I've done so far since I began interior design. And also it is the most recent shot that I've done of the projects that I've done before.
All right. So ladies, can we walk around? Yes. We're allowed. Fantastic. There is a lot to see here, by the way. So what is your name? What is the name of your business?
The name of my business is Colstar Designs Limited.
All right. And you've been in existence for how long?
2 years now.
2 years.
Yeah.
Right. So as I said, you started off in 2017. So is it safe to say that that's when you started working with interior design, in 2017, when you kicked off?
In 2017 is when I graduated from school. And then, of course, I did a bit of projects for people just to try and get experience for myself. But the company itself, I registered on 7th of July 2021.
Okay.
So I've been in operation as a company since July 2021.
Since July 2021.
Yes, yes.
And what did you study for in school?
I studied interior architecture, although it's called interior design. But it involves also architectural drawing and designing of spaces, and mostly specializing in interior spaces.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many years of school are we looking at?
Sorry?
How many years of school are we looking at?
2 years, 2
2
years.
years.
Yes.
All right, you did it right here in Kenya?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So tell us what exactly the space that we are looking at right now before we delve in deeper into other questions about your business. How would you describe this space?
This is European interior design. The concept is European. The client that we did this space for is from China, and he's trying to bring his business here. So we met and we talked about what he wanted to do, and of course he gave us the concept of what he wanted to do. Most of the materials are those that he imported himself. So we basically had to create the space for him and then probably execute the job by ourselves. Yeah.
And so what exactly what exactly does interior design entail? Because where exactly do you now take charge? I'm imagining this was an empty space.
Yes, yes.
So at what point did your job with this particular client start?
The job began when, first of all, he got the space from the mall. And then, of course, we talked about what he wanted to do. And then from there, when we agreed on the concept of what he wanted to do, we usually do design on the computer. And then we present what we call renders that we create from the computer. Basically, it's superimposing the space on a computer. And then now, when the client likes what is displayed on the computer, what we've created, now execution begins there. You get after that, I get to produce what you call a BQ of the project costs, and then once we agree on the terms and the contract is signed, and then everything kicks off after that.
Okay. You've understood each other on the terms and conditions. So here's the empty space. What's the first thing that you're going to do about it?
For a space like this one, we began with the ceiling. You start with up coming down. So the gypsum, the ceiling, as you can see, is made of gypsum. We could have done a much higher ceiling because the European interior design is more beautiful when the ceiling is much higher. But of course, we had to deal with the space we had, and so we did the ceiling, and then we did the partitioning of the wall, and then after that we did the cornices, and then later on we did the painting through spray, because this one you cannot do paint brushing. We have a machine that does the spraying. And then after that, then we finished with the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then now you hand over the space back to the owner to do as they wish to do with it. Okay. Well, Collins, as we look at this space right now, just to be clear, your responsibility is the floor, the ceiling, and the walls.
And the lighting as well.
And the lighting, it's beautiful though. And the partitioning, so that's your area of expertise.
Yes.
Everything else is now the additives for the client that you were dealing with.
Yes.
Okay. Now I want us to get down to business. How did you end up starting your business? Maybe you can also answer, is it a sole proprietorship or are you in partnership with someone?
It's sole proprietorship. Yeah, I'm not in partnership with anyone. It's a business I started by doing some plans and designs for some of my friends. I did designs for houses for some of my friends whom they didn't have to pay me back then, because I assumed I was trying to gain experience for myself in terms of creating and designing as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still doing free designs for friends?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just going to take my luck. I was just chancing. So with the name that you have, Colstar Designs, what inspired that name?
It's more of a challenge for me. The name comes from my name. So I sort of wanted to challenge myself to make some designs that are appealing, that people can look at and say, wow, this is something interesting. And so most of my designs are usually not the same. I usually try to do myself project after project. How
did you get your capital to kickstart this, your business that now has become clearly a household name for each and everyone who has a shop in the village market?
If you look at the type of business I do, it doesn't require that much capital. It's basically sort of consultancy and mostly services, because what I offer is a service of a project that someone would want to do, and then once we undertake, then they would probably we would do a transaction based on an agreement of what they're doing and what the project should entail. So it's something that you can do on a freelance. Like for me personally, I do it on a freelance basis, yeah.
So by saying you do it on a freelance, just to be sure, that means that you do not have an office?
Yes.
Okay. But when you're taking over a project, you cannot do it alone?
Yes.
Yeah, so how exactly do you run that?
I have established a network of friends also that are part of my team whenever I get a job to do. So basically, once if I happen to get a project for someone, I have friends who are electricians, I have friends who are carpenters, I have friends who are masoners. So we sort of come together and then we plan how to undertake a project depending on whether it's within Nairobi or outside Nairobi.
Oh, you also work outside Nairobi?
Yes.
Maybe we can also discuss what are some of the challenges that you face as an interior designer who's running his own business?
I would say miscellaneous costs. Sometimes you'd undertake a project without knowing what would happen in the event that the project is ongoing. And some of these things happen to be on materials. Sometimes we'd quote for materials, and then by the time the client wants to kickstart the project, the prices for things have gone up. And so the conversation is difficult when you come to say that the prices have gone up, I need to adjust the quotation, and so it becomes a problem. But because now you are already committed to getting the project done, it becomes a sort of a sacrifice for the...
Is that the main, or rather the worst thing that you have ever gone through in your business, or do you have another challenge that you could share with us? I
think I would say that's the most common, which I'm also trying to learn from, and also to sort of see how to deal with it in the future, so that it doesn't become a problem.
What do you think is very unique about your business?
I take my business personally, especially projects. I do one-on-one interaction with clients, and also when it comes to now kickstarting the project on the ground, I'm usually the person on the ground. Yes.
Like, how long did it take for this to come to fruition?
You would not believe if I told you. If I told you how long this took. This one took a month and a week, from zero to what it is now.
A month and a week.
Yes.
And everything was ready. Things were dried.
Yes, because the client approached me around November, and he said he wanted to open on 25th of December. And so you can imagine the timelines. We had to do some of the jobs at night, for example, drilling for electrical lines, and things like installing the gypsum were being done during the night. So we had like two crews, a crew that would work at night and a crew that would work during the day.
You were bumper to bumper. Yes. There was no time to rest.
Yes, yes.
But at the end of the day, you were able to deliver, right?
Yes, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at this particular juncture, I'd like for us to take a very quick break on Themani, and we're going to check out the other spaces that Collins has been able to work on. So don't go anywhere, don't touch that dial, we'll be back in a few. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Themani, the show that focuses on micro, small and medium enterprises. And we are still in the village market with Collins, who's giving us an insight on his interior design business. Now, we're in a different space. Before we left that other space, I did promise you that we'd be coming to a different space to see what else, what other designs Collins has done with his business. And here we are. Can you maybe explain where we are right now?
We are in a shop called Flint Integrators. They sell systems, music systems.
All right. So, and you also work with them when it comes to the interior?
Yeah.
All right.
We did the space, we designed the space in terms of the ceiling and the flooring and the cinema behind us.
The cinema behind us.
Yeah.
There's a cinema behind us. So that's exactly what we need to take a look at. And Collins is going to explain to us what exactly he did when it comes to this space. So follow us in. We're going to check in, and then my conversation with Collins will continue, please. All right, so we are inside what feels like a movie theater room, as you can see around me. Maybe, Collins, you can give us some more information of where we are and what we're working with here.
So the shop is called Flint Integrators. This is like a showroom for an interior space of cinema. Okay. That usually is done for private individuals who have private homes. The ceiling is starlight, if it can be shown.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have acoustics.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have acoustics on the side. The sound system is perfect for movie theater. Mm-hmm. And so for those clients who would want such a space, they're welcome to find more about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So keeping your books is something that you do on a daily?
I think when it comes to keeping books, once we get to that level where we are able to have accounts that we can deal with the books, then we'll...
Oh, but for now it's just individual.
Yeah.
All right. So allow me to ask, where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 5 years? What are your goals?
We're hoping that we'll be an established company, properly established, that we'll have a bigger clientele to work with, and as much as we feel like we're not that much into the space of interior design, we're hoping that in 5 years we'll be a known brand name and that we'll be able to have our own space in the design industry in Kenya and maybe outside.
When you're running a hospital, you know, a business that is run around hospital, sometimes you find them offering free services or free medical checkups for the society. What do you see yourself doing for the society in future? Kurudisha mkono, in simpler terms.
I would say maybe in future, depending on how big we have grown, we're hoping maybe to also incorporate other people into the space to be able to learn and find their way into how you can venture into this particular business. And also we've been part of doing charitable design work for other people. So it's something that, depending on the need and probably the kind of business that the person is bringing up, usually we tend to do some designs for free. Maybe there's a school that wants a plan or something like that, and the school probably is a government and it's trying to come up. Such kind of jobs we probably don't. Okay. Yeah.
As a micro, small and medium enterprise, have you faced any challenges that you just say in your mind, the government should hear about this, if the government made this and this easier, I feel like MSMEs would have a better way, or rather have ease when it comes to running their business?
I think for most businesses, environment is what matters. And so we're hoping probably when things get better as the economy is trying to maybe pick up and thrive, hopefully things will be better and probably business will be available. Because you know, usually business is dependent on the environment at which the current state is. And so a favorable environment means there's business and there's cash flow, and therefore business tend to thrive because of environments. Okay. Yeah.
What advice would you give to any interior design aspirants or any business aspirants?
My advice is instead of waiting to get employed, try to start do something. Let people know what you're doing, what you can do, and if you have to do it for free, then so be it. That helps you find your space into the industry. So
what would you say was the priority for you back in the day when you were starting the business, and the priority now that the business has been in existence since the year 2021?
Back then, the priority was to try and gain experience for myself. I would say, even though the growth is still small, as I try to pick up, I would say the priority right now is to be able to expose myself out there and get more clients, to be able to understand that there is interior design as a venture, and then there is also people who do interior design as a job.
Okay. Are you happy about the growth that the interior design sector is having in Kenya?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more recognized, and I think maybe in the future, I'm hoping that it will be a requirement to have an interior designer even in construction, especially where there's a site, the way you have an architect on site and you have an engineer on site, that there should be also an interior designer.
Yeah. It's paramount.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Just take us through the other spaces that you've worked on. In Village Market alone, you have worked on how many spaces?
About 5.
About 5.
6, yeah.
So you've seen the first one?
Yes.
Which is to do with home appliances. By home appliances, I don't mean electricals, I mean beds and the seats. We're here right now. This is all about sound and interior design for homes.
Home theater.
Yeah, home theater.
Yeah.
What else do you have out there?
We have shops that sell clothing. One of them, of course, sells Kenyan-made clothing, and the other one also is an importer. I think she imports clothes from abroad, and both spaces are similar, but they complement each other. They're separate businesses, although.
Okay. All right, and this is where we come to the end of our episode of The Money. It was such an honor walking around and seeing Colin's work across a village market. We've been here for quite a number of hours just to properly give you information of how an interior design business can work. And I think the take home for me is that you don't actually need an office to start a business. And this has been inspired by Collins. Thank you so much for keeping it The Money. Thank you for keeping it NTV. My name is Nina Shivan. Until next time.